One of my go-to stories that I usually end up telling because I always end up getting asked about it is how I got my nickname at haunted houses. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I have done acting in haunted houses. I did it for about 9 years before COVID, I believe. Something like that. Maybe only eight, but that's besides the point. I got pretty good at it down the road, but this is actually a story from my first year working at a haunted house attraction at a local amusement park. Hi, Zach. And uh, apologies if you already heard this one. It has been told on stream. I believe I've typed up a story on Twitter, and if you're watching on this on YouTube, there already exists a video of me telling the story, I believe. So maybe I'll just link it to in the description or something like that, so that people can compare and contrast. Because the telling does change from time to time, depending on what details I feel like focusing on that particular time of telling the story. So that's a long preamble, basically, just to get to the point. So I'm working at a local amusement park as a scare actor in what was referred to as a scare zone, which was to say, rather than being in a haunted house themed, uh, basically set of corridors that you walk down with rooms and set pieces. The whole thing was just one big set piece in an open area in the pathway of the amusement park. I was a zombie. And I had been getting pretty good. Actually, the zombie that I was themed after, here, get this, the zombie look of Michael Jackson in the Thriller music video. Little fun thing. Complete with the red jacket. People kept telling me I had to wear weird color socks. I was like, no, he wears white socks in that video. Why would I wear weird color socks? I think people kept telling me I had to wear purple socks and a sequin glove. I'm like, no, none of that was in the music video. Go watch it again. Sidetrack. Anyway, so I'm working an area that was at one end of the zone usually, and over by kind of like a food court area. And then the zone behind that space would extend into either side of and through an ivy tunnel, which is basically just a large ironwork tubing trellis that was arched over the pathway, and then ivy was allowed to grow over it. It did fantastic things with fog, and the lighting was set up just right that you were blind to whatever was in that tunnel when you were first walking in. So I got asked to cover this tunnel area because someone else had to go on break, and I was still available to scare, and the area that I usually covered was usually covered by at least two other people, one or two other people at all times, so we were covered there. Okay, well, let me go in there and shit, well, what do I do? And so I started playing around with the light and the fog and realized I could actually pretty easily get a scare by just all 6'1" of me jumping out of seemingly nowhere because they were blinded by the light walking into the tunnel. As soon as their eyes left that light, I knew I could be seen, and I would jump out, bah, get the reaction, disappear back into the fog because it was thick. Like, it would pool on one side of the tunnel and not on the other side. And so I could disappear into the fog and no one would even see me, but I could see out. So that was fun. Until I decide to scare this duo of girls who were probably about a half foot shorter than me, something like that. I see one of them just start taking off as she sees me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get her friend now. And I go scare her, and she immediately turns and gives me one of these, right? So I get hit in the face. This eye. She clips my nose. That's important for later. Zach, don't play with that. I get clipped in the nose and I get hit in the eye. And I try to roll with it a little and I go down. And I'm down for a second, assessing. The pain hadn't set in, and then the pain starts to set in. I start grabbing my face. It hurts. I notice that there's fluid running, and the first thing in my mind is, oh no, what if something has really damaged my eye? Hold on, let me get... There we go. Zach was trying to climb up on the desk. I'm like, oh no, what if something's happened to my eye? I don't... I cannot deal with that right now. I couldn't even open it because it was so painful at the time. And so I do the only thing I can think of to do when I can't find my way to my feet or even like reorient myself and try and find someone to help me out is I start thrashing and kicking on the ground. Zag, no. Okay, sorry about that. I start kicking and thrashing on the ground. I start screaming and yelling. And apparently, people thought this was a bit. But no one was around me. And so eventually they come over to investigate because they're like, well, what's going on, dude? And I'm like, I got punched. Okay, well, they go to get my supervisor. The supervisor gets over there. I hear my buddy Flips, love you Flips, ask me if I can stand up. I just throw my hand into the air. He helps me to my feet. I've got blood running down me. My supervisor offers his shoulder to me because I'm not steady on my feet, walks me over to first aid. I found out that I bled all over him and his manager uniform because of a bloody nose. That's the fluid I was feeling. So I get checked out. They check me over for a concussion. They say you're good to go whenever you're feeling steady enough and you want to move. So I joke around with them for a little bit, nurse the wound with an ice pack, and then go over to the break room and start cleaning up. Because I'm bored and I want to hear how the rest of the night goes. So I figure I might as well kill some time, be productive while I'm waiting for my friends to come back. And then as everyone's filing in, I'm telling them what happened, and everyone's giving me props, like you scared someone so bad that you got punched, awesome. And then my supervisor comes in, says, everyone, I have an announcement. We have a brand new nickname. And I'm excited because, the nicknames have a lot of interesting stories and cool things behind them. One kid got maced, so he was known as Mace. And he points at me and says, KO. I don't know if it was intended to be teasing or making fun of me or anything like that. Some people later admitted they weren't sure about someone being proud about being knocked out. But they admitted that when they thought about it for a second longer, hey, this guy got punched in the face and decided to still come back. So since then, I have been known to many as KO. So if you ever see that happening in my chat, you know that these are people who probably know me personally, know me very well, and know me for a very different side of me than I typically show on stream. If you haven't, I would recommend giving acting in a haunted house a shot. It is incredibly fun. It is a exercise in improv. It is just wonderful to you get to be what you're not supposed to be in like customer service settings and stuff like that. So it's a wonderful way to just get all the blah out. But yeah, so I am KO. I am Necrometer. I'm a lot of different things to different people. But the thing I want you to do is remember to be excellent to each other and be excellent to yourselves. And I hope to see you again.